Yo, what is up guys, MrPantaloons here with another Opera Omnia video, and this time we are going to talk about the three last lost chapters. In here we got Balthier, Eiko and Tidus respectively. So we're gonna talk about how we did, which kind of team composition we used, and any other thoughts on the last chapters, like advice and tips and stuff like that. So let's see, we're starting enough with the Balthier lost chapter. So this is the part 10 right here. Was this one? I don't think this one had any other issues with part 4. Let's see. Yeah, so the booster machine. Yeah. So we did manage to get a score of 23.5 on this one. The team we used was actually Lightning. Oh, I guess I MLB'd my Tidus as well. So for this one we used the full MLB Lightning. We used Tidus without 2 limit breaks on actually without 3 of these limit breaks. So we MLB'd his weapon later on, and then with Cloud as well. And then let's see, we used Ifrit Summon and an MLB Squall support, and that was pretty much it. I don't think there's much to say here. We pretty much kept the boss on check. Oh, Lightning, right, she's got the Thunder, right? She's got Spark Strike that deals thunder damage, so she pretty much carried us on this one right here. The thing to be worried about is the wave cannon mode, but you should be able to break the boss and then he will go into a short circuit, and then you get a bunch of turns and you get him out of the wave cannon mode. So it's not that bad. As long as you have enough damage, that should be enough. And if you have someone who deals thunder damage, someone like Krill, Vincent, Lightning, all of these characters are very good against the booster machine here. And then obviously good summon like Ifrit, and then a really strong damage dealer as your support should pretty much have you covered for this one. So that was the Balthier, nothing too serious there. Well, I guess if you count booster machine serious, then that is that, right? Because booster machine, he can be quite annoying sometimes. But then next up we have Eiko. So on the Eiko there is some interesting stuff going on. Now on the level 10, okay, we do have this thing on the level 10. So first off, we used pretty much the same team right here, and we actually used an MLB 35 Eiko as support. And MLB 35 Eiko is one of the best supports, if not the best support. So we did manage to get 31.6 on this one with the exact team that we used for the Balthier event. Then I guess there is one thing to worry about here, which is this guy. So the Sandworm, he pretty much gravity spins you, right, and deals 50% of your HP. So you want to be careful with this guy. You're gonna take one hit regardless, because he does this on turn 1. So your highest HP character will take this 50%. He always targets your highest HP character. So for instance, in here he would target my Tidus, right, and we would take 3k damage on Tidus. So that is one thing to keep in mind. And if you're using Ifrit, then you definitely want to not get gravity spin hit a second time. You want to keep at least 2 of those Ifrit blessings up, and if you have enough damage, that shouldn't be a problem. But that is one thing to keep in mind. And I guess the other one, which I kind of got me bamboozled, is the part 1 right here. You do have the giant sandworm here, but you only have him on the part 1 and on the final part. So the other ones you don't have to worry about. But on this one, what's particularly interesting on this one is that you have a mission here that says take 3000 or less. So if I would go in this team, I would basically instantly lose it, because he will take more than 3000, and then there's no way for me to regen that HP unless I take someone like Eiko as my support. So I actually had to do something about that. I switched out my Tidus or something, and I put someone with lower HP just for this particular one. But it is the first level, so it's still pretty easy, right? No matter what you're using, unless you have really weak characters, you're not gonna have too many problems there. And then I guess for the final boss, there isn't too much to talk about, right? You kill the minions and then want to deal as much damage as possible before he summons the minions back. And we did get a bunch of score here. He didn't get to summon a second time. It's relatively easy to just get rid of him on the first round, but if you can probably do it on the second round and still get the score. So I didn't think there was anything too sketchy in here. And then he's got the holy weakness there. So that is about it for this one. Obviously Eiko really helps here with her synergy. I guess we didn't talk about the synergy characters, but we can go back here. So on the first one, I actually didn't really have anyone here, so I used Terra, but my Terra, I don't have her weapon. I basically used someone else's weapon, and she was not very good. She didn't really cut it. On this one, if you have Eiko, obviously she does really well. Then Bards, actually he was really good as well. I used my Bards. I only have 115 CP plus 1 limit break on that, and he did really well actually. He surprised me. I really liked Bards for this one. And Ida, I don't have her weapon, didn't use her, but she can probably deal, or she can probably do, you know, a bit of stuff on her own, because she has some skills at her disposal. And then on the Tidus one, I did use all three of them. I do have all three of them. Tidus obviously really good here. Steiner, he can do some work, but I gotta say I wasn't too impressed. He does only have his 15 CP, though same for Sans. If they had their 35, then they would have obviously done better. And then Tidus 35, he has no problem dealing a lot of damage. So for this one, I actually did not manage to finish. So I got the 13,000 score here first time around, and the maximum score for the event was 14k. So with my team lining Tidus and Cloud, I wasn't able to get that score. But then I went back with after I made some pulls, I got Tidus MLB here. Lining already had her, and then I also used my Ashe, who is right over here. I got her 15 CP MLB and then her 35 plus 1 limit break. So I managed to get a 18.5. So and that was it for this one. Now in terms of enemies, so we had Seymour, and actually this one you have to be careful about a couple of things. The first one is you have to be careful about the lightning mannequin. So she'll start with Spark Strike, but then she will do Flourish, which is a Brave plus HP. So right here, starts with Spark Strike, she gets the buffs, and then she does the Flourish. So you will get a lot of damage. Luckily, she's kind of squishy, so you do want to focus her out as soon as possible. And that is on the first wave. So the first wave is Sephiroth, Lightning, and Ishtola. So you gotta worry about Lightning, you gotta take her out and not get Brave plus HP. But then Sephiroth, he also has Brave plus HP. But the thing with Sephiroth, he starts with Heartless Angel, and Heartless Angel, you don't have to worry about this one, right? Because it only reduces the target's bravery to 1. So whoever Sephiroth is targeting on the first turn, you can basically just HP attack, because he won't do anything, right? He's not gonna do any damage, he's just gonna reduce your target to bravery. So he starts off with doing the Heartless Angel, then he does the Fervent Blow. So this one he deals some bravery attack, but then on his third turn he will do the Octa Slash, the Brave plus HP. So you kind of want to take him out before he does that one, right? And then he goes back into Heartless Angel. So even if you do take the HP, then you know that he is not gonna do anything for another turn. So those two you gotta be careful about. Then Ishtola, she's not too big of a concern outside of the fact that her stone does delay your target, or does delay your party's turn by 1, which can be kind of annoying. And sometimes if you let her off be at full bravery, she might do some medica, but usually she's not gonna get that point, right? And she is it's very easy to counter her Medica, because you're gonna see that she is going to do party all buff, and if she has a lot of bravery, then you just hit her a few times and then her Medica will do nothing basically, because she needs to have a lot of bravery for her Medica to grant enough bravery for the other enemies. And then for Seymour, or I guess the second wave, you got Cecil and the Balthier. That wave is actually not as bad as the first wave. It's actually pretty easy. Whenever you have 3 versus 2 type of situations like this, it's not that big of a deal, so I didn't have any difficulty with this wave. But then on the final wave, Seymour, he can be really annoying. You want to make sure that you're not gonna get broken by this guy. If you get broken, things could go south real quick, so you want to be careful with this guy, because he does the Requiem group Brave Magic attack. You gotta be careful about that one. Then he's got the Lance of Atrophy and Lance of Destruction, Brave plus HP, and after a certain amount of turns, I'm not sure how many, like 3-4 turns, he will do Brave plus HP as long as he has some bravery. So you can keep on breaking him and he won't Brave plus HP, but sometimes he can reset on his turn and then instantly Brave plus HP, and maybe it will deal either a ton of damage or even one-shot your character if he breaks your character. So you have to be careful about that. You have to watch out the turn order and make sure he doesn't reset, especially when he's targeting one of your squishier characters. I had the chance for Seymour to reset on my Lightning a bunch of times, and she has only 4k HP, right? So she would get one shot every single time, and it was really annoying. I had to reset a bunch of times, but there we go. And I did it, I think for the 14k I needed to do it in like less than 85 turns. I took a notice there, but I think with my Ash I did it in like 65 turns or something. It wasn't too bad, right? So that is it for the lost chapters. I think we got everything down. So those were my thoughts, and we obviously did finish all of them. So we got 5 out of 5 Balthier, 5 out of 5 Eiko, and 5 out of 5 Tidus. We also got the limited time event rewards, which mainly were the 300 gems and 3 tickets per lost chapter, so times 3, 900 gems and 9 tickets. I believe there are still a couple of days left for those limited time rewards to pick them up, so there you go. If you haven't had the time, you should definitely try and do them right now, and they're not as hard as the other 3 in my opinion, especially with these new banners. You got some really good characters from the banners. You got Eiko, if you got Tidus, if you got Lightning for the Balthier, she's gonna be amazing. So there you go guys, let me know what you think, and did you complete the lost chapters, and what team did you use? That's what I would like to know in the comments below. But anyway guys, that is it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I shall see you next time. Have a good one and take care.